Hey, welcome back to the channel, or maybe this is your first time because this is going to be the basics series. And in this basics series, we are going to go over your auto loaders. Okay, auto loader, pistol, handgun, whatever you want to call it. But anywho, this is a Glock 31, and the first thing you always want to do, of course, is make sure that you're not that it's not loaded. Okay, so you're gonna look in the chamber and make sure it's not loaded when you pick up a gun. But anyways, I'm trying to show you how to and you notice just a couple safety things. Okay, I got my finger out here, and you're gonna notice in the gun community it's a pretty big deal to not go around with your finger down here. Okay, but before we get into this, I should have other links to the basics series below. Depending on where I'm at will be how many links, and also to the Facebook gun group. If you can't get enough with guns or got gun questions or something, there's a lot of us on there. It's a great community to show off your guns and ask questions or whatever. So feel free to join that. Please like and subscribe, and let's get into this. So with your striker fire gun, which you'll notice they don't have a hammer back here, and this thing, if you're wondering what that is, it's just sweet. They call this the flux defense brace. Anyways, that's beyond the scope of this. What we're worried about is how to work your striker fire, and it's going to be about the same as this right here. This is not a striker fire. This is a hammer fire, but it's an internal hammer. Well, by the way, all these guns have been checked before the video. Okay, I checked them all. They're not loaded. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your mag in, which I didn't grab the mag for that, but you're gonna have it loaded. Okay, and you're gonna put your mag in like that. You shouldn't have to slam it too hard, but some guns might be a little bit more than others. You get used to your own firearm though. And then what you do is you do what you call racking the slide, which is simply you pull that back and let go. And some people call it slingshotting, whatever. And that's going to load your bullet into the chamber. Okay. But what I wanted to go over with you was a few more things. Okay. Some of these striker fires may have a safety back here. These Glocks do not, although they do have, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little thing on the trigger there. It's like a little safety. See that? I mean, it has internal safeties. Okay, it has that, and there should be a block in front of the striker in case you drop the firearm or whatever. But anyways, like if you were to have, let's say, which is a very common gun, is a Taurus G2C, it's going to have a safety about right here, okay? But these other two guns, they do not. This gun, which is very similar to the Ruger LCP, but this is actually a Kel-Tec P32, and that's actually a little, what you call it, the guy with the Sith, Grim Reaper. Or a Glock. It's just basically pull the trigger and go. There's no safeties. So if safeties are important to you, you're going to want to have a different kind of gun that has a safety. And now let's go over this. This one is called a single action only. So when I pull the trigger, okay, and again, I've already checked these, and always check. Okay, it's not loaded. Okay, when I pull the trigger, it's not going to pull the hammer back. Okay, even when the safety is off. Alright, the safety's on, it doesn't do anything. Safety's off, doesn't do anything, because it's a single action only. External hammer, okay? So when I fire, it pushes the hammer back, alright? And then the trigger simply drops the hammer, okay? And that's all that does. So if the hammer's forward, it's not going to fire, okay? If the hammer's back, then she's ready to go. So you're supposed to, this is called cocked and locked, where you have the hammer back. This is not a 1911, but this is a common thing. I should have grabbed my 1911, where you have it cocked and you have your safety on. You're safe, okay? And when you're ready for action, you just sweep that off, and then you're ready to go, okay? Now, the reason why I wanted to go into that one so much is this burst of thunder, okay, which also has this. This is not, I mean, it is a safety, okay? See, nothing's happening. But this is a double action, single action gun. Okay, so when I pull the trigger on this one, and again, I'm going to check and make sure the chamber's empty on this. Okay, now when I pull the trigger on this one, watch what a double action gun does. Oh, look at that. See, it actually functions the hammer. Okay, and it'll fire it. All right, so what this also does is it's called a decocker. So watch what happens here. All right. Now, some people are scared that that'll make the gun go off. Know your gun. You should know your gun. So take your gun to a range and test it a few times, pointing down range, not at a person. Now, even if you know it won't, you still don't want to be pointing it in an unsafe direction when you decock your gun. Just because it would be stupid to ever point your gun at in an unsafe direction, okay? But anyways, so this does work as a safety, all right? But you can carry it like this and know that you're double action, and then after the first fire, of course, it's going to push the hammer back, and then your subsequent fires are going to be single action, okay? Hopefully that, I know this is the more complicated gun. Probably, I don't know if you want to say this is the best for a beginner. I guess it depends on what you want to get into. But because, I mean, you do have the safety, and maybe you like the idea of maybe you're not comfortable carrying it, and you can't carry this cocked and locked. Because when you go to put the safety on, it's just going to decock it. So it's impossible. So you really want to carry this either like safety off with double action, or just safety on, and then when you're ready, you're going to have to sweep off the safety and then go. All right. So if this one was single action only, you can, and you need to ask or watch some reviews, know what you're getting into before you buy your gun. Know if you've got you know, like a 1911 style, or like this where it's single action only and you can carry it cocked and locked if that's what you want to do. Or like you know, SIG makes ones like the P226 and the P220 that often are single action, double action if you're looking for that, and you can just carry it like this and not cocked and locked. Or you can get, you know, what most people like is you know, your Glock or your Ruger, you know, this is Caltech, not to confuse you. Now, I don't recommend getting anything with an internal hammer. I don't know if you can see that. But what that does is it makes your trigger pull suck. Okay, so what happens with this is when you're pulling the trigger, you see, it has to pull that, because this is a double action only, believe it or not. But when the slide comes back, it does not recharge the hammer. So this is I consider this a crappy gun. I'm sorry, there's a bunch of people in there that are gonna, you know, get mad about it because they really like this gun. But this is any gun that has an internal hammer like that, I would avoid. They're just, unless you've already got a lot of guns and you want it for other reasons, whatever you want it for. But if you are only gonna have one gun, I don't recommend these. Go with a regular striker fire, or go with something that's got the hammer on the outside. Just my opinion. That's the way I see it, because the trigger pull is awful, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And some people might say, well, yeah, well, if you don't want to get used to that, then, you know, you're not going to be able to handle revolvers. All right, well, I'm okay with it, but I understand why a lot of people don't like it, and so I would just avoid it. And if I am going to have a semi-auto, I want to have that better trigger. So, you know, if I'm going to have a trigger like that, then just give me a revolver, you know. Okay, I think that covers pretty much everything. I can't, you know, I don't have any idea of what else an auto loader, other than loading the magazine, which I may cover in another video. It should be pretty self-explanatory. But know what you're getting into before you buy your gun. And hopefully you know, you don't have to feel stupid after watching this video on the differences between, you know, how to operate your striker fire, all this. Now know that all of these guns, you have to cock this. This is called cocking the slide. And load your first round in. I mean, there's other ways to do it. You can have your slide held back, which let me show you how to do that. So this is weird for me because I don't do it with this hand. But you're gonna, this little lever right there, you push it up and it's gonna hold it open. Okay, and you can drop a bullet in there, and then you can press the release. This is the slide release. So let that back forward. Okay, now you'd have a round in there, and then however many is held in the magazine. So that's how you can have it to full capacity. Otherwise, you're going to rack it, then you're going to hit your slide release, which is right here, okay, on this gun, pull the mag out, and then top it off. All right, so same here. You're going to rack one, all right, and then press the slide release, which is right here on a Glock, and then you pull your mag out, top it off. And for this one, okay, you would load it, cock it, okay, and then you pop that down, top it off, and then put it in. There you go. Alright, thanks for watching the basic video of how to operate your auto loader. Have a great day.